And it seems so simple, na? What is there in this? The word karma is derived from the Sanskrit kri. To do action is karma. So at what point of time are we not doing an action? We are always doing some action. Either we are doing it consciously or we are doing it unconsciously. So there are so many unconscious actions. Like right now we are batting our eyelid. We are breathing. And we could be doing some other things also, like maybe moving our leg or maybe, something which we can't see right now. But it's also action. Everything is action. So on this, the field of action, as Krishna says in chapter 13, there is field, what do you say? It's called Kshetra, a field, where constantly there is something happening. Like the sun is rising, the sun is setting, there is some movement, there is breeze now, there is some air, there is constant movement. All movement is action. But why does, when it comes to a human being, it become karma? The sun is not getting karma, no? It is so hot in UAE now. It's 40 plus degrees. But see, the sun is, shining, burning us, but still no karma for the sun. Why there is no karma for other things, other beings, and why there is this thing called karma so strong for us human beings? It's because we can actually change our actions. Now, suppose it's a cat. It will behave like a cat. It cannot behave like a dog. It is pre-programmed. But human beings, as human beings, we can actually reprogram. But we behave like pre-programmed. That is where the misery starts, as he was saying. Okay? So reprogramming and pre-programming is different. Pre-program is what we came with. Okay? And reprogram is when I will reprogram what I have been doing. Habits, impressions, vasanas can be changed. But for that, we need to be conscious. We need to be aware, which we are not. So, we are running, as it is said very clearly, the Sanskrit Kri is to do all action as karma, which is correct. Any action we do is karma. Technically, it also means the effects of action, which is called, destiny, as you call it. Karma laga, you got the karma. So that is when there are effects for the action. Now, every action will have some fruit, reward, punishment, whatever you call it, coming with it. It's naturally going to be there. It's not possible that I throw a pen and nothing will happen. It will at least fall. So some action will be there and some reward will be there or some punishment will be there. The reward and the punishment are just effects. How I take it is a reward or a punishment. Okay? So, but we are not dealing with it right now. Here he said, right now, we will understand karma equals to work, action. Okay? Now, technically, what is Eastern philosophy? Eastern philosophy, we are all from the East. Okay? East is our culture, Indian culture. It says that the goal of life is knowledge. So what should be our goal? If we belong to the Eastern philosophy, the Eastern side of the world, whereas the Western philosophy is success first, knowledge will come. So it's more materialistic. Whereas Eastern philosophy was technically never after materialism. It was more of understanding who I am. What is knowledge? What is this? What is God? If there is God, all this is Eastern philosophy. And we were supposed to be there, learning that. Problem is, the East became lazy. And they said, oh, Bhagwan, God is here only in the temple, or God is in the ashram, or God is in the scriptures. We know everything. My grandfather said that, my great-grandfather, and we relaxed. And we actually did not go out to seek anything. No knowledge, no God, no self, no Atman, nothing. And materially also, we were not doing anything. So then we started thinking, oh, the West is better. Look at the West. They are so rich, so, affluent. And look at us, we become poor financially. So then the West reached the peak of success. And then they came with the question, who am I? And then they started exploring the Eastern philosophy. And that's where the West has moved far ahead than us in our own scriptures, to a large extent. Because they became successful in the world, they saw that this is not the goal. The goal is knowledge. So even Swami Vivekananda had to go abroad. Chicago. He had to go there to preach, probably because in India there were few listeners. They would be like, oh, we know this, So then he said, okay, let me probably go and teach people who don't know and who are interested. So that's how a lot of gurus, a lot of intellectuals, a lot of masters actually moved to the West, so that they could share their learning and teach. And then they became very affluent in our philosophy also. They became rich with knowledge. And Akshita was reading something about the Bhagavad Gita and some other books also. And she said, Mom, this research is by some Western person. And see how much in depth this person has gone. She was reading out something. And we have everything in our basket, in our puja room, in our bookshelf, but we are not interested. Why? Because we feel we need to work to earn money now. And the scripture, where it will go? Again, Durga Puja will come. And again, in October, we will place the Bhagavad Gita and we'll do the Aarti and we will put some flowers. And after 2 days, next day, we can lift the book. So that is when that Bhagavad Gita is removed every year. So that should not be the case. Okay, then should we stop earning money? No. We should be doing what we are supposed to do also. That's what Vivekananda will say now. So in work, we have to find the balance. Okay? So the first thing is, we understood what is Eastern philosophy. It is our scriptures, our knowledge. And saying our doesn't sound good, but it's Eastern philosophy. And it's very easily accessible to us. But we keep missing it. Why? Because we are entangled. Doing what? Thinking that if I earn money, if I become rich, I will be happy. So we are chasing pleasure. We are chasing happiness. And what does it bring? It is not the goal of man. Swamiji says, pleasure is not the goal of man. So then what is the goal? Goal is knowledge. So when you make notes, you can write, what is the goal of man? Mankind, rather. It's knowledge. And what is not the goal? Pleasure is not the goal. And chasing, as we call, there is a difference between pleasure, happiness, enjoyment. All these things are different. Okay? Did you make the PPT or something? We can show it. We'll show it next time. So next time we'll see what she has made on pleasure. So pleasure is not the goal, and pleasure, why is pleasure not the goal? Actually, we all say we want Paramananda, we want permanent happiness, we are searching for that. But here he is saying pleasure and happiness come to an end. So it ends. So, but we say, no, yesterday it ended, but today it began again. So then we need to understand that it will begin and end, begin and end. So there'll be happiness, sorrow, happiness, sorrow. So it's always a constant up and down, up and down. So each time it comes to an end, each time it rises, each time it's going to come to an end. So what comes to an end, how can that be the goal? Think about this. What should be the goal? Goal should be something that is, fixed, something that's permanent, something that is, always going to give me more. Happiness, it comes to an end. If it comes to an end, why am I chasing it? I'll tell you how it works. It's like there is sunrise, okay? And you want to catch the sun. So you're going to run after it. So from morning, you're going to run after the sun, okay? And by evening, the sun is going to set, right? So then you chased, but you didn't get it. Why? Because it's set. So next day morning, you can start running again, chasing the sun. But by evening, it will set again. 100% it will set. Even if it is delayed, it is going to set. It will set. It could be 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Doesn't matter. It's going to set. So we are chasing something which is going to end. So then always remember the sunrise. So imagine that, oh, the sun has risen. I'm going to catch the sun today. Run, run, run. By evening, you're running and running and running. You almost reached that place where you felt the sun is there, and suddenly it's set. Oh, this sounds very depressing now. Everybody became very serious. See, it does not mean we are not supposed to be happy, but in remembrance that it is going to set. Remember this word, it is going to set. Like the sun is setting, the happiness will end. It will set eventually. So when you're very happy, be happy, but understand that it will also end. Like we always keep saying, oh, there is so much sorrow. Don't worry, it will all end. We know it will end. But when it is happiness, we don't want it to end. But it will end. Very simply put, it will end. See, think of our day and night. Every morning we wake up with so much, so much to do. But by afternoon, we feel when the sun will set, when I will go home and relax, when will the office timing be over, when will it be night, and when I will relax. So we were asking for the sun to set so that I can relax and go home and chill and sleep off, But suppose you slept maybe early tonight, okay? Not tonight, some night. Tonight, I'm not going to leave you. So normally, you will sleep, suppose you sleep by 10. But that day you were tired, so you slept off at 7 or 8 p.m. Next day morning you wake up. Thank God it's morning, I slept so much. You don't want to keep sleeping also. And you don't want to keep waking also. So understand the fun of life. So we want everything. And that's correct. That's how life is. We need the day and we need the night. We need to do movement and we need to rest. So this is the balance we need. It is not that, oh, I'm Rajasic, I keep working, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, midnight, I'm working. I don't take rest. Doesn't work. Because we work with equipment. The eyes, nose, ears, hands, legs, all these are equipment we use. And when we overuse, it will spoil quickly. Okay? So we need to use rest. That's how it works. Okay? So understand that pleasure and happiness come to an end. And it's a mistake to suppose that pleasure is the goal. So all those who have the script can underline this. There is a lot of things you can underline, because we could ask, I could ask you, what is the goal of mankind after maybe 5 lectures? After 5 sessions, we need to remember this, that, oh, the goal of mankind, first lecture, what was said? Okay, it was said that the goal of mankind is knowledge. And why it's not pleasure? Pleasure will come to an end. And it's not the goal. And okay, what is the cause of all the miseries or all the sorrows we go through? It is because men foolishly think pleasure to be the ideal to strive for. Now, suppose we have some sorrow, some misery, some tension. Then we need to sit down and ask, what is it that I'm striving for? So on through the script, Swamiji has used the word men. So it does not mean men. It's humans, okay? So all the women out there don't think, oh, it's me. Swamiji is speaking to the men, not to us. No. Men means all of us, okay? Humans, basically. So then men foolishly think that pleasure is the ideal to strive for. So technically, Swamiji is saying, don't chase happiness. Why? Because the goal of mankind equals to knowledge. I'm sure this will be, going deep inside you. Even if I ask after 5 sessions, you will remember this for sure. So then, what do we need to strive for? Knowledge. And what are we striving for? Happiness and pleasure. So we'll understand why it's right and why it's wrong. The whole chapter is karma, the entire action, and how it affects our character as humans. So all of us have distinct characteristics, you can say, or we all have a particular character, you can say. We also say, oh, what a character he was, what a character she is, So this character, how does it come about? Where do we get it from? That's what Swamiji will speak in the next para.